Okay.
And welcome back to the show. Well, as you'll know, over the last couple of weeks, we've been chatting to a lot of the bands that are coming out here for part of Glamfest this year. And the latest band that we're going to be chatting to right now is H.E.A.T. And from H.E.A.T, we have on the phone Kenny. Welcome to the program, mate.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Now, Kenny, there are so many people out there who are so excited about Glamfest. Tell us a little bit about how you feel about coming over to Australia for such an amazing festival.
Well, I mean, first of all, I would just like to say, that it's absolutely fantastic that these things are being put together, and the fact that we're, able to come across all the way down to, to where you guys are, down under, and play. And, we're not the only band from far away down in Australia, and it's just absolutely crazy that we're able to put this together. I am so thankful to be coming down and just seeing all the fans and sharing the music and the live experience with everyone. Not just the all the fans and people there, but also new fans and all the other bands and people such as yourself.
So this is going to be one of those shows where you just know the audience is going to be multi-generational because, of course, I listened to Slaughter when I was at high school. My nieces and nephews listened to Slaughter. My dad listened to Slaughter. So that's just an example of what it's going to be like. Do you love playing those shows where there's a multi-generational audience there of grandparents, parents, and kids?
Well, of course. I mean, it's the way that we kind of carry on, carry the torch into the future. I mean, it's the way that it is, like, and I think it's always been that way. But now it's probably even more important than ever. When you can come to a show and you can have, the sort of older generations or, more seasoned generations that were around when rock and roll and, heavy metal or whatever was more sort of in the public eye. And the fact that we still have these, pockets and they bring their kids or whatever it may be, and introduce people to this kind of music that we all love, which, of course, at the root of it is rock and roll, right? So let's just put it that way. So to enjoy rock and roll and sort of for some people, obviously, they're still discovering, the magic of rock and roll.
So tell us a little bit about your own journey with that magic of rock and roll. What bands were you listening to as a kid that kind of set your path for the love of rock and roll music that you have today?
All right, so my story is borderline cliche. When I was a small boy, I basically listened to the same music that my family, my parents listened to, which was a lot of, it was a lot of soul, it was a lot of R&B, it was a lot of, older, 80s, 70s style music, and I basically discovered hard rock and rock and roll myself. I think I was 12 or 13. I heard the first album by Iron Maiden, and it completely blew me away. So that's basically where it all started. I was at a friend's house. He was like, "Yeah, we should put on one of my dad's albums," and I was like, "Yeah, all right," because he had a huge LP collection, and I just thought that LP looks really cool, with Eddie in the front of the cover and everything. Put it on, and from that moment on, I was just like, yeah, this is what I'm doing now. This is who I am.
How does it make you feel now, knowing that there's probably kids out there that do that with your music? They go to a friend's house or they're in a record store and they suddenly find a H.E.A.T album and put that on. How does that make you feel that that's probably happening to kids out there today with your music?
Yeah, it's very surreal. I mean, like, every once in a while, we're out playing in different places, and I get approached by, a younger kid or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, I've listened to your stuff when I was really small. My dad put your music on or whatever," and it's just like, I mean, to me, it's a very humbling experience, of course, and to be able to be a part of someone's life, musically, their musical journey in this way is a privilege. And it's something that I try not to take for granted. I mean, it really is. It's very special. because ultimately that's what we all are. We're just fans of music. We love music. We love how it makes us feel, and how it belongs in everyday life. And to be able to be a part of someone's life with something that you have created and touched is just amazing.
Definitely. Now, you have got some amazing tracks in your back catalogue. Now, it's been building and building over the years with more and more tracks. How difficult is it for you now to put together a set list for a festival like this?
Oh, you hit the nail on the head right there, because it's very, very hard. You have to put together a set list that's effective, and you try to bring in as much as possible. Whether it's new or older, it's very challenging. But at the same time, I think it's what makes it more fun and more special, because every show it's not going to be, it's never going to be the same. And the format, kind of decides. Some points, some moments we play as a main act, and we can present 2 hours of our own material. And in some shows, it's like 50 minutes, and it just brings a different kind of show, a different kind of dynamic. And I think it's kind of cool that you're able to mix it up. And a festival like this is great for the fact that you have all these really awesome bands that are playing together in one spot, and they're all basically forced to just bring out, I would say, the best of the best in, a compact, effective set. And I think it's a pretty cool experience if you're a listener, standing in front of stage and listening to what's going on.
Definitely. Now, you are performing, but are there any of these bands on the Glamfest list that you're actually looking forward to being able to sit back and watch yourself as well?
Yeah, of course. I think all of them. I am very much of an avid listener. I listen to music all the time. I don't go through my day in silence. It's almost always something spinning in the background. So, some bands I'm more familiar with, some bands I'm less familiar with. And I think it's going to be an opportunity for me to just listen to a bit of all of them, A band in particular, of course, that's that goes without saying. You got you got bands like H.E.A.T, for example, and it's a big inspiration as well, So I don't know. I don't really want to pick a particular band. I would say that any band that I have the opportunity to sort of sit down, have a cold one and just enjoy. That's what I really want to do. So
definitely. And we've noticed, of course, over the last few years, your popularity here in Australia has also risen. There seem to be a lot of people that discovered your music during the pandemic. Have you been aware of how many new Australian fans H.E.A.T has as well?
Yeah, it's I think we haven't really absorbed. The fact that we have been, getting popular in Australia is such a it's far away, and we don't play in Australia, on a regular basis. It's really, really special, and we are really fortunate to be able to reach so far and have established ourselves in Australia. It's really special, and we want to continue to build on that. We want to continue to come to Australia and put on bigger shows and more shows. We want to just continue from here and hopefully establish ourselves as something that plays on a regular basis.
Definitely. Now, Glamfest aside, what does your 2024 look like? Are you working on new material? Are you going to be touring heavily this year? What's on the plans for this year?
Yeah, we are. Right now we are basically in the process of recording, and we have sessions going, and we're putting together everything that's eventually going to become our next album. So that's what's basically happening right now. We are, of course, playing in in your beautiful country.
Yep.
very, very soon. And then immediately afterwards, we are headed to America and play on Monsters of Rock cruise. And that's going to be really cool as well. But apart from that, we are just, working hard on making sure that we have this, next album for you guys as soon as possible.
You mentioned about building on that momentum in Australia as well. Would you look at like doing a tour of Australia sometime in the next 12 months as well, like apart from Glamfest, like a headline tour, or is that something?
Yeah, I think that's definitely the intention. We're definitely eager to come back and play our own show in Australia, and one step at a time. I mean, we're super excited about being part of this. We're really, really excited about being part of this, and so we're gonna come down. We play this festival with all these amazing bands at Glamfest, and then basically take it from there. But yes, I mean, in short, we really want to come back to Australia as soon as possible and put on, our own show with all the bells and whistles, and just hopefully play with other really cool bands, in all kinds of cities, really, across as much of your beautiful continent as possible.
Awesome. I should have asked, what do you like doing when you're in Australia? Is there something that you've found in the past that you really enjoy doing when you're away from the stage in Australia?
I mean, not to sound too much of a crazy fanboy of your country here, but like, Australia completely blew me away. I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea. Last time we came, I'd never been to Australia in my life. We came into Sydney, and I just saw, all this sort of infrastructure, very kind of almost a bit reminiscent to that what you see when you go to the States, for example. But like, all the people, like, I mean, culturally, you are really kind of relaxed, almost like an island nation, like when you go to an island somewhere, everything is just kind of relaxed and people are friendly, and like the momentum isn't as crazy in some other parts of the world. I loved everything about Australia. So, just hanging around, talking to people, enjoying, city, and just checking out different things, whether it's the beach or being in the center of a city somewhere, having a coffee and just sort of chatting to people, or sharing a beer with somebody. Just an amazing experience all around, and I can't wait to come back and just enjoy more of it and discover different things.
Awesome. Well, you called us an island. Strangely enough, it's a weird bit of trivia, but we're actually the biggest island country and the smallest continent in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, actually. I mean, it really is pretty crazy, because Australia is such a big place. I mean, it really is. It's huge. Yeah. I never imagined. When we first got there, I was like, well, if shit hits the fan, something's wrong with the flight, we'll just jump in the car, right? We'll drive from Sydney to wherever we have to go. And it's like, you kind of can't do that. It's just like, shit. Like, it's so big. But the people, I mean, you are definitely not like, I mean, I don't really want to jump to any conclusions. My experience is very limited, but like I say, it's like, it's almost like an island, island, but in a very large scale. It's just really special what you have down there. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, mate, we can't wait to see you here in a couple of weeks' time, and we are running out of time very, very quickly. So to finish off, what would you like to say to everybody out there who is heading along to check out H.E.A.T at Glamfest this year?
Well, I mean, all I can say is that, buckle up. You're in for a ride. We're bringing the show. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a bit of a, best of all worlds in our little sphere, our bubble, and we can't wait to sort of share the moment with you, and just really create something special every night. If you come to one show, fair enough, but try not to miss if you can catch us on several.